Hey everyone, let's talk about something that's been making a massive comeback. We're diving into the incredible world of retro gaming. If you've ever felt that pull towards pixelated worlds and catchy 8-bit tunes, you are absolutely in the right place. So let's get into it.
And just how big is this comeback? Well, get this. A recent survey found that a whopping 70% of Americans between 25 and 45 are replaying the games they grew up with. That's not just a niche hobby. That is a full-blown cultural tidal wave.
And this image, it just captures that vibe perfectly. It's all about that shared joy, right? It doesn't matter if you were crowded around an arcade machine back in the day or battling it out on a brand new console. This isn't about collecting dusty old cartridges. This is a living, breathing part of gaming culture right now.
So what's the deal here? I mean, we live in a world of mind-blowing, hyper-realistic graphics and games that are always online. So why are so many of us going back to these, simpler pixelated classics? Let's dig into the magic behind this whole revival.
Okay, so let's break down what makes these games so irresistible. First off, yeah, of course, it's nostalgia. That powerful feeling that takes you right back to being a kid. But it goes deeper than that. There's this creative simplicity. These games are so easy to just pick up and play, but they're incredibly difficult to actually master. It's that loop that gets you totally hooked. And you can't talk about retro games without mentioning the art style and the music, that perfect pixel art and those chiptune soundtracks that get stuck in your head for days.
To really get why this revival is happening, we kind of need to know where it all came from. So let's take a quick trip back in time and look at the key moments that literally built the video game industry we know and love today.
Our journey starts around 1978 with the golden age of arcades. This is when gaming exploded into a public thing. Then, in 1983, the game literally changed when the 8-bit era, led by the Nintendo Entertainment System, brought that magic right into our living rooms. All of that set the stage for 1989 and the 16-bit revolution, a huge leap forward that sparked the very first, and maybe the most legendary, console war.
And here's a quick cheat sheet of the heavy hitters from each era. You've got arcade legends like Pac-Man, the 8-bit era that was just dominated by Super Mario Bros., and of course, that 16-bit showdown between Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog. You're basically looking at the DNA of modern gaming right here.
And speaking of that 16-bit era, nothing sums it up better than this rivalry. Come on, you had to pick a side, right? Were you Team Mario or Team Sonic? This whole thing between Nintendo and Sega wasn't just some marketing gimmick. It was a cultural phenomenon that took over playgrounds and magazines. It pushed both companies to be better, to innovate, and to create some of the greatest games ever made.
Okay, history lesson over. So you get the appeal, you're feeling the hype, now for the really fun part. How do you actually start playing these classics today? Let's check out the different ways you can jump into your adventure.
Before you dive headfirst into this amazing world, you've got to ask yourself a key question. What kind of player are you? Because your answer is going to shape your entire retro gaming journey.
So you've basically got two main paths. Are you a purist? Someone who wants that authentic, tactile experience with the original console, the original controller, the whole 9 yards? Or are you a modernist? Someone who values convenience and wants a huge library at their fingertips. This could be through digital stores on your current console, those awesome little classic mini consoles, or emulators. Honestly, there's no wrong answer here, just different ways to enjoy the games.
So if you're leaning toward that modernist route with emulation, it's actually way easier than it might sound. First, you pick your software. Something like RetroArch is super popular because it handles a ton of different systems. Next, you set up a controller. Then you load your games using what are called ROM files. Now, it's important to remember to only use ROMs of games that you legally own. It's a bit of a gray area for sure, but for many, it's also a crucial tool for making sure these classic games don't just disappear forever.
All right, you've picked your path. You're ready to go, but with literally thousands of amazing games out there, where on earth do you even begin? Well, think of this next part as your official beginner's quest log. Here are 4 essential quests to kickstart your journey. First, you have to master the maze in the one and only Pac-Man. Then, it's time to leap into the game that basically wrote the rulebook on platformers, Super Mario Bros. After that, feel the need for speed with Sonic the Hedgehog. And if you're ready for a truly grand adventure, you have to dive into The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. These aren't just games, they're playable history.
As you get into all this, it's worth remembering that gaming has always been about connection. From those noisy, crowded arcades to your couch today, It's about sharing the experience, a little friendly competition, and just that pure, simple joy of playing together.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? In a world where modern games are chasing realism with billions of polygons, what timeless lessons can a handful of simple, elegant pixels still teach us about the art of just having fun?